Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Round Up, where we have to cover a lot of news. The last few days it's only been a bit, but there are 5 teams to talk about today. And then we will cover what happened at MSI 2023 today. If you listen to the fanboys in my comment section the last few days, you'd think this wasn't possible. Oh my god. And sadly, I fell victim to their nonsense. And we'll get into that. But first, we have news. So, EG, a few weeks ago, they let everybody go except Jojo Pune. First piece has been announced officially. Armeo will be in the jungle. Armeo did play for Cloud9 and Team Liquid in the past, I think. Could be wrong. He was known as Grig as well. Might have played for TSM. One of the old-time orgs, right? These numbers are from I believe 2022 summer when he played in Academy. Had a 5.3 KDA, 5.6 CS per minute, 60.7 KP. That is weird. 354 damage per minute. 354 gold per minute, 367 damage per minute. So carry oriented. However, doesn't farm a ton. Not very involved. One could say, well, the team is fighting away from him. Okay, well then what is he doing? If he's not fighting, then he should be getting farm. I don't have vision up here relative to the rest of the region. Maybe his vision score was the best out of any jungler, and he was just getting vision all the time. Maybe. Does deal more damage than gets gold in that regard, and that's a good thing. That means that he is following through on the gold that is given to him. On average, ahead slightly of the enemy jungler. Remember, this is at the academy level, and he is not a rookie player. So he is experienced against players that otherwise aren't. 220 gold up, 4 CS, 225 XP at 15 minutes, 7 solo kills, 10 champions in 36 games. Some people like this move. I think that it's very meh. I don't know. I guess Armeo gets another chance, but I don't know if these numbers tell me that he earned it. Well, he probably earned it, but like was ready for it. I don't know. TSM have announced a few moves. So Ruby, rumored to be the replacement of Maple. It's now official. Well, actually, not necessarily the replacement for Maple, which we'll get into. So Ruby joins 3.1 KDA, 8.4 CS per minute, 64.5 KP with Heretics, 396 gold per minute, 689 damage per minute. Did deal a shit ton of damage for Heretics. That cannot be ignored. However, laning-wise, he did struggle. I do wonder if a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was a import and people held him to a higher regard. Has played in the LPL, PCS, and LCK in his career. On average, in laning against LEC mids, he was very average. Only 15 gold up, down 100 XP. 5 solo kills in 24 games between winter and spring. 12 champions played. Now, the caveat. He isn't necessarily the replacement for Maple, it seems. He is going to be in a competition, I guess, because Phoenix... Oh, you might not... Yeah, that Phoenix. The one from 2020 summer, Phoenix, is also signed to TSM. Has not played organized League of Legends on Games of Legends since. 4.1 KDA, 8.3 CS per minute, 66.7 KP in summer 2020 with Dignitas. 365 gold per minute, only 409 damage per minute, so very passive that split. On average, middle of the road against LCS mids, 50 gold down, 2 CS up 25 XP, 3 solo kills in 13 games played, 8 champions. So definitely very meh. And like that goes right alongside Armeo in a even more head scratching, because Armeo at least has played the last 2 years. Phoenix has not. Actually, really, frankly, it's almost 3 years at the end of the next split. He was actually, plugging my Hall of Fame thing I'm doing on the Discord, Phoenix was eligible. Did he have enough points to even be up there? No, he's not on the nomination list. But he was eligible. That's how long it's been since he last played. Revan is the coach. So Revan had coached in CBLOL and played in CBLOL early on in his career. Also coached in Latin America. Had one split with Cloud9 alongside Max Waldo last year, going 13-5 as an assistant, and then coached the academy team. So Revan is TSM's head coach for the split. Now, the LPL, there were a few moves, and it was a trickle down, so we're going to get into it. Rare Adam being the center. RA has made some interesting decisions that make me think they're going to be worse. So Zhaozhu was picked up. Zhaozhu was LGD's rookie top laner this past split. 1.8 KDA, 8.1 CS per minute, 54.3 KP, 375 gold per minute, 472 damage per minute, 9 champions in 38 games. That's weird, huh? So Zhaozhu goes to Rare Adam. Where does Cube go? Well, we're going to skip around for a second. Cube goes to Team Wii, who is replacing Bubu, who we talked about, I think, last week, as being allowed to leave Team World Elite. So Cube from Rare Adam had a 2.2 KDA, 8.2 CS per minute, 46.3 KP. So very split push, solo, dolo, weak side, top laner. I am on my own. I don't want to be involved. My hands are tied behind my back. I don't want to help you. I'm just going to do my own thing. Cube has some interesting picks that are fun to think about. Team Wii is a lot better than RA. Team Wii were competitive, and this is an upgrade over Bubu in my opinion. 373 gold per minute, 424 damage per minute. So RA are going to get a top laner that's a little more aggressive. 10 champions in 40 games. Now we say to ourselves, if Zhaozhu went to Rare Adam, who is LGD's top laner? We don't know yet. Right now it's Overture. Overture has kicked around in the LDL space for a few years now. These numbers are downright awful with LGD Academy, this past split, or the split they're in right now. 1.38 KDA, 7.7 CS per minute, 49.5 KP. So not involved that much, less than half the kills. Dies a ton despite not being involved in KP all that much. 362 gold per minute, 399 damage per minute, 9 champions in 19 games. Maybe that's where Bubu ends up, and it's just a triangular trade, if you will. We'll go back up to Rare Adam. So, this is where things get really questionable. They have signed Mole. I thought Strive was excellent for Rare Adam. I was not as high on Strive as people in the Discord. We have some people in the Discord that think Strive would be an upper half LCK mid. That's how good he is in their mind. I don't think that, but I do think Strive, given his age, has a bright future. But they have brought in Mole. And Mole is the very opposite of Strive in my mind. His future is behind him. He is not, I don't think he's very young. I really don't. And he frankly sucked with IG last year. I thought he was the worst mid in the LPL last year. 3.2 KDA, 7.6 CS per minute, 74.9 KP, facilitator oriented. Okay. 3 out of every 4 kills for a mid laner is very facilitator oriented, and given the past meta, maybe that would have worked. There are a lot of changes to AD carry this offseason. We'll see if that affects the mid lane meta at all. 370 gold per minute, 539 damage per minute, 8 champions in 23 games for IG last year. I'm not happy about this. I think this is a downgrade. I think that this is what I'm talking about, where Rare Adam got worse. I don't know why Mole has been brought in at all. Speaking of older players, Baolan is also here. But actually, Baolan is younger than Southwind, who left. So, I mean, I guess I got younger. Baolan leaves Ultra Prime, which we talked about 2 days ago. 2 KDA, 74.8 KP, 12 champions, 37 games. So Mole and Baolan are going to hold hands. Past teammates, possibly, at some point with IG. Yeah, I'm not too hot on that RA system right now. So they got Layan in the jungle and Asum at the AD carry. So it's Asum and Baolan and bot. We got Mole and Layan in the mid jungle duo. Zhaozhu in top lane. My God almighty, Rare Adam, you have outdone yourself, making Ultra Prime look like they could be competitive. I don't know how I'm going to do chapters for that. I might just do RA-we-LGD because we went around the block there. Now, the reason why you're listening to this video. BLG beat Gen G 3-0. I predicted Gen G to win 3-1. I thought that BLG could take a game. I said yesterday, Bin over Doran is the difference here. If BLG wants a chance, Bin was my MVP because he was the difference, in my opinion. A lot of people are going to give Elk a lot of credit, and rightfully so. I thought Elk was excellent on the Jinx. He was an absolute monster. I'm not going to deny that. He went 31-4, 24, 38% of damage. Was absolutely excellent. Yagao, 6'6", 43 had the best KDA. So, AD carry mid went 37, 10, and 67. Pays in the loss went 12, 10, 17, 30% of damage. He had some moments on the Aphelios. They were few and far between, but he had moments. So, Bin, I thought, really gapped Doran in Game 1 and Game 2. Elk was excellent in Game 1 and Game 3. Game 2, Elk came on in the later stages of the game. Had a really nice, triple or quadra kill. But Bin had been a big reason why they got to the point in which they did on Gwen. And then was also still relevant in the late game alongside Elk, which made me give Bin the edge in Game 2. And being the reason they won in Game 1 on the Jax. So, Game 3... Elk was very good. Bin was active on the Scion, had some good KP, did his job, so he was MVP. Gen G just laid an egg. Like I said, Doran sucked. Chovy got a massive lead in Game 1, did nothing with it against Yagao. And then on his Annie, he had some moments in Game 2, or it might have been Game 3. I forget if he was Annie Game 2 or Game 3. But despite those leads and things, Yagao just was more impactful on the Talia, on the Ari. He just got things done where Chovy did not for the most part. And if you have that gold lead, your team has invested, give him the gold lead, let him carry, and he didn't do it. Didn't do it. And then we say to ourselves, well, we have Shun and Peanut against each other. Let's put Peanut on Kindred in Game 3. That's an awful idea. Nice KDA. Awful idea. What are we doing with Peanut on Kindred? Like, what are we doing? That is like, no. Like I said yesterday, Shun is a carry. Peanut is a facilitator. They can't do the other. And Shun was better on the Vi than Peanut's Kindred, which was the difference in that one because they were, doing what I don't really like out of either one, despite Shun's Vi win rate. I'm not a Vi connoisseur, I guess. I'm not a big Vi fan. But Shun found a way to be more relevant and impactful. Yagao was more impactful outright than Chovy. Elk was an absolute monster in team fights. The LPL team, crushed Gen G. Crushed them. And, I said it earlier, I had people in the comment section really upset that I had BLG second. I doubted BLG the last couple days because BLG were really on struggle street against JDG. I thought it was very bad. But they performed. Elk performed today. And I want to also say this. Chovy needed to do more. Doran needed to do more. Peanut needed to do more. But the bot lane of Gen G, I'm going to give grace. They had a great tournament. Their first time on an international stage. Pays is one of, if not the youngest player in LOL Esports. Literally just won the LCK. He's going to be one of the best ever by the time his career is done at this rate. Given the fact that he is so young, he's already won the LCK. He's a great player. But today, the bot lane of BLG was better. Who also, this is their first ride, Elk and On. On's Blitzcrank was on point in Game 3. I really do think that a lot of people, have a bias between the China-Korea deal. I don't know why. I could see, I guess, if you lived there, you'd have a reason, because like regional pride, you know, that whole nationalism or whatever the hell. But outside of that, like if you're outside of China and Korea and like you have a real like animosity towards the other one, I think it's kind of misplaced and silly. I think that there's no real dog in that fight. When you look at the head-to-head of these two regions against each other, the LPL, if you take in MSI 2023 and everything since MSI 2018, the LPL actually has a winning record now after T1, JDG, and BLG Genji. It was 47-45 LCK favored. Now it is 51-49 LPL favored. And, you know, a lot of people told me that, well, the one team at Worlds, EDG, dominated the LCK, and that was the only team that had. The other LPL teams, they don't show up at Worlds. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. I'm just saying the head-to-head record is what it is. You can't deny what it is. You can say, well, this is, well, okay. But that doesn't change what the record is. So, leading into this, BLG T1, they've never played. Last matchup, never. But the top laners have faced off, as well as the mid laners, last year. So, Bin and Zeus, MSI 2022 Finals. Bin would win. 22-9-16, 342 damage per minute. Zeus in the loss went 7-19-16, 452 damage per minute. On average, was up 21 CS per game. He gapped him in laning phase and then into his face-off with that lead, dying 19 times in 5 games. Which isn't awful, but if you're gapping the other top laner in laning phase and then you are dying that much and the other top laner's doing well, oh, but it's Gwen, but it's this, but it's that. Oh. Yo, dude, it's a year ago. Get over it. Bin 1, RNG 1. We'll see how this goes tomorrow between those two. It is a great thing. We're seeing the best top laners in the world duking it out. This is going to be a fun series. Especially coming off of this, where, you know, a lot of people that are going to be those naysayers against Bin about the whole MSI 2022 thing, I know picked Gen G over BLG. I know they did that. Now, Yagao and Faker, they played at Worlds 2022. Yagao, JDG, Faker with T1. We have looked at this matchup before with 369 and Zeus. Now we're looking at mid. Yagao went 9-14-22 in the loss with 452 damage per minute. Faker 12-14-28. So both more facilitator oriented. They're not carrying. They're not getting a ton of kills. But Faker did get a lot more damage. 619 damage per minute. So 167 DPM more. On average, up 11 CS over 4 games. So 44, over 4 games. So Faker ahead. Did something with it. Zeus not so much when they played against Bin and RNG. So this was a longer video. We've had a few sub 10 minute recaps, roundups, but today is a lot longer. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And I hope to see you again tomorrow.